The Milwaukee Bucks are on an absolute tear right now, running teams out of the building. In the last 15 games, they hold a record of 12-3, beating some really good teams like the Denver Nuggets, Clippers, and even the Pelicans as well. With this great stretch of basketball, they have fought back into being in the race with the Boston Celtics for that number one seed, sitting just one game back from being the best team in the Eastern Conference record-wise. But in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the three major factors leading to the recent dominance of the Milwaukee Bucks, and if they have enough to get back to the NBA Finals and win another NBA championship. But before we jump into today's video, guys, let me know in the comment section down below, how do you feel about the current roster? Do you guys like the addition of Jay Crowder, or are you hoping they add maybe just one more player throughout the buyout market? Also, don't forget to hit that like button if you're enjoying the video so far. It helps a ton. But without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. So first and foremost, I wanted to start out this video by talking about the addition of Jay Crowder and give you guys my thoughts. In my opinion, the Bucks did a fantastic job at the deadline, adding a solid 3-and-D wing who brings a ton of energy and knows what it takes to win in the playoffs. Depth is probably one of the most important things to have, both in the regular season and the postseason. For now, Jay Crowder will allow players like Chris Middleton, Joe Ingles, and even Giannis at times to maybe take a day off of rest, which will, allow players to retain energy and keep them healthy for the playoffs. So that's one of the big reasons why I love the pickup for Jay Crowder. Yes, he's going to make a big impact on the floor with those players, but another thing he adds is being able to rest some guys on a night where they need some rest, So I think that's going to be a huge upgrade, a huge addition to this Bucks team. That's just my opinion. Let me know your guys' opinion about Jay Crowder in the comment section down below. But let's get right into our first major factor leading to the recent dominance of the Milwaukee Bucks, and it's going to be obviously Giannis. I mean, guys, Giannis has been absolutely running teams out of the building through this stretch, and nobody seems to know how to stop him. The NBA needs to figure it out soon, or figure out how to contain him, or else the Bucks will continue to demoralize their opponents. I mean, guys, over this 15-game stretch, Giannis has showed why he needs to be in the MVP discussion. I mean, he is, but there's no question in my mind that he is definitely top tier right now up there with Nikola Jokic. I would put him over Embiid, but he's been amazing, putting up an incredible 33.6 points a game, 13.9 rebounds, and 5.7 assists per game. Over the entire season, Giannis actually ranks very high in a couple of major categories as well. And here are just some of them. Number 1 in rebounds per game, number 1 in free throws attempted per game, number 4 in efficiency rating, and number 5 in win score, which is pretty much meaning that when he's on the court, the Bucks are usually winning the game at the time. So he plays a big vital role for this Milwaukee Bucks team, and he's not only looking to be the MVP this season, but more importantly, he's looking to lead his team back to another NBA championship this season. Now, moving on to our second major factor, I don't want to spend too much time on Giannis. We all know he's great. We all know he's one of the best players in the NBA right now, and he's only continuing to get better. And he's not showing any signs of slowing down anytime soon. So, don't want to spend too much time on Giannis because there's a lot to talk about in this video. So, moving on to our second major factor leading to the Milwaukee Bucks' dominance this season, and it's going to be the way they play defense. Now, I'm sure if you guys are Milwaukee Bucks fans, you guys know exactly what I'm about to say, but it seems like at times his defense is pretty much you can't score on them. Looking at some of the analytics, you can tell that this Milwaukee Bucks team is just elite. And that's scary because they just got even better on that end, adding a guy like Jay Crowder. So, Bucks fans, if you're going to love to hear these stats I'm about to say. But the Bucks currently rank number 7 in points allowed per game, number 3 in assists allowed per game, number 8 in steals per game, and number 10 in blocks per game. The defense for Milwaukee has been incredible, to say the very least, this season. Not only allowing an average of 111 points per game, they also do a great job at making teams play ISO style basketball, which in today's NBA doesn't work a ton, strictly because the amount of great one-on-one defenders there are in the league, especially on the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, you have guys like Jrue Holiday, Chris Middleton, Giannis, Joe Ingles, Jay Crowder. I mean, that's just to name a few. The way the Bucks rotate and switch is top tier. They also force a ton of turnovers per game as well, which leads to a ton more shot attempts per game, which is amazing because their offense isn't the worst or isn't the best, isn't the most efficient. It's also not the worst either. But what this does allow them to do is take more shot attempts and have more opportunities to score the ball. The Bucks also rank in the top 10 of a ton of major defensive shooting metrics as well. And here are just a few. They rank number 1 in opponent's field goal percentage, number 3 in opponent's free throws attempted per game, number 4 in opponent's three-point percentage. But like I said, those are just a few. I'll leave the rest of them on the screen so you guys can see just how elite their defense actually has been this season. Whenever you watch the Bucks play, that's the one thing I always noticed. They usually never allow a ton of open shot attempts. Their defense has been one of the best I have ever seen over the past couple of years. Their defense just plays so cohesive. They play so well together. They communicate at a high level, and they just know they play like they've been playing together for like more than 2 decades. That's how, just how smart they are and how well they play with one another. Now, we all know that defense wins championships, so that's going to play a major role. Their defense has been incredible. If they can keep that up, I don't see how anybody can, score on them. Now, before we jump into our last major factor, make sure you guys subscribe if you're new here. We're going to be covering the entire NBA all year long, so make sure you guys join the family. Let me know who you think the most underrated player on the Bucks right now is, and also hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Okay, now getting into our final major factor here for the Bucks, it's simply the way they start and finish off games. The Bucks are one of the most clutch teams in the NBA when it comes to closing out games. I mean, just last night, they did a phenomenal job coming back from being down versus the Lakers. They came back, won it, and kept the lead throughout the last 8 minutes or so. They did a fantastic job winning that game because from the jump, it seemed like the Lakers just had a step up on them, but they did a great job closing that game out. The Bucks currently rank number 7 in the entire NBA in first quarter points and number 7 in fourth quarter points scored, which tells me that their closing lineups are very productive together, and they're just able to outplay their opponents over that stretch when they have those guys on the floor. Obviously, when you look up and down the roster, they have a ton of great players, but the most important thing, they all play very unselfish style of basketball. And all they really care about is winning games and getting back to the finals. When you have a team in the NBA that doesn't care about individual stats or more, they just care about the outcome of the game, those are the hardest teams to beat. So shout out to the team and the guys like Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, Grayson Allen, Bobby Portis, Javon Carter. Those guys have been amazing. Even Pat Connaughton. Those guys have been really, really good this season. And I'm also very excited to see how the addition of Jay Crowder is going to affect them, how much it will help them out. I'm very excited to see that. But those are my 3 major factors, guys. Giannis, obviously, the amount of defense they play, the elite defense they play, and then obviously the way they close out games, the roster it's currently constructed, they play amazing. They play very good team basketball. And when you have a team playing like a team, like I said, it is so tough to stop a team that just wants to play together and wants to play as a team and not individuals. So that's the most important thing when it comes to basketball, and the Bucks are doing the most perfect things right now. And if they continue this, I don't see how anybody is going to be able to stop them. Maybe in a 7-game series, you have the Celtics or the 76ers or the Cavs, maybe, but I don't really know. The Bucks have just been that good. So listen, if I'm the NBA, you gotta start preparing. You gotta start recognizing what they're doing, because if not, this could be a very dominant rest of the season for the Milwaukee Bucks. But that's all I have for you guys today. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.